Hello again. Hi. You know, very often people say to me, "Oh, it's very morbid. All you talk about is death." But it's not. All I talk about is life, because life is eternal. Now, what does that mean? Goes on forever. Well, yes, but it's like a complete circle, without beginning and without end. This earthly life is for a reason. We have many, many lessons to learn through experience. Now, I think sometimes it's like a day at school. We have many lessons to learn, and when you've learned those lessons, you can look forward to going home. But a few months ago, I found myself in London, and for the first time, I went on that sightseeing tour bus, and I think I was well impressed with it. You have an earpiece you put in, you get a running commentary as you go round the different tourist attractions. I learnt a lot on there, and the beauty is with that bus, you can get on at any stop and get off, go and have a coffee, walk around Piccadilly Circus or whatever, get back on and continue the journey. And I thought to myself, this is a bit like life itself, isn't it? As we go round, we see people getting off and we see people getting on, and the bus moves on, and some more people will get off and others will get on. That's life. Some people get off and some people get on. Now, as I say, life is like a day at school. By that I mean, yes, you have to learn your lessons. Talking about lessons, how many times have you gone through a certain experience and then said, "Oh, that'll teach me a lesson"? But does it? The number of times I've seen people and they've said to me, "Oh, you think I'd learn my lesson by now, wouldn't you?" But they haven't. Once you've learned the lesson, you will not be faced with that experience again. It's only if you don't learn your lesson from it that you will. Now, when this life is over, now whether that's you can pass over as a child, in your youth, you could pass over when you're 40, 50, 60. Some people may stay till they're 90. What's all that about? It's because you have certain lessons to learn. Once you've learned those lessons, you can go home. Life can seem very short. Well, it is. If you think about the vast realms of time, thousands and millions of years, if you live to be 100, it is but the bat of an eyelid. Now, what you will find, of course, when you pass over to spirit, your whole life is analysed. And you are asked, why did you do that? Or why did you say this? Now remember, when this time comes, because it comes to all of us, please do not say, "Oh, well, I did that because she told me to," or "I did that because he said it was the best thing to do." Don't blame other people. You have personal responsibility. You do what you think is the right thing to do. You have to learn through experience, and you can't learn all your lessons in one lifetime. That is why the earth plane is quite unique, inasmuch as when you pass over to spirit, you will go to the various planes of existence that I think I've spoken about before, either down to the pits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, heaven is on top. You will not, because nobody does, pass over from this life and go to heaven. But you will go to one of the planes where you will find that everyone is of the same spirituality as yourself. We are all of us on a pathway of progression. Some people on the earth plane may be very, very spiritual, very nice people, very understanding, very unselfish. And then there's other people on the earth plane. You don't have to be psychic to say, I'm sure they're going to the pits, or I'm sure they'll be okay, they'll go high, because they're nice people. So we are all of a very different spirituality on the earth plane. But the reason for this life on earth, it's so very important, I can't emphasize enough, is to learn through experience. And we do, all of us have to go through different experiences, different emotions, different feelings. If you thought for a minute, oh, I'm sure I'm going to the pits, I haven't done very well, well, maybe it's time to change. If you can live a very spiritual life, if you can be fair to people, be kind to people, be nice to people, that's a very good start. I have spoken to hundreds of thousands of people throughout the world, but I have also spoken to hundreds of thousands of people in the spirit world on all different planes. And I tell you what you may not expect. Go down to the pits and see people there that you may think, what on earth are they doing here? I thought they were very respectable, very good people, maybe bosses of industry or politicians. It depends on what you do with this earthly life, it really does. This earthly life is a God-given gift. Do what you can whilst you're here. Have you noticed how time goes very, very fast the older you get? When you're very young, when you're a child, 2 or 3 weeks can seem like an eternity. When you hit 60, 70, 80, don't the weeks, months, years just fly past? Don't leave it too late. Do what you can now. Make your contribution here on earth. That's the way we pay our rent on earth, through our contributions we make to other people. Thanks once again for all your letters and comments and what have you. It does inspire me to know what to talk about. If you pass over and go to plane 1, if that's the best you can do, you may think you're in heaven, because it's much better than the earth plane, I can tell you. But it is only number 1. And in spirit you will be asked, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Why did you make such a mess of things? And it may well be that you have to come back and have another earthly life to get things right that you've got wrong in a previous life. If you're born into a family with millions and millions of pounds, money is no object. and you go to all the best private schools and university and maybe into a career, a profession, and then you pass over. You may well be asked, what did you do with all the money you had? You may have another earthly life in real poverty, maybe in India or part of Africa, or, well, I don't think you need to go that far to see people sometimes in real poverty. And you have a life, maybe you starve to death, and you see the inequality in the world. There are so many with so much, and so many with so little. And you pass over to spirit and you realize the inequality in the world, and you say, oh, if only I'd have had money, and if I'd have been born in a better position, then I would make so much difference to this world. And so your wish may well be granted, and you will have a life of plenty, just to see how you're going to act and what you're going to do with that money. Oh well, life on earth, believe me, if you live to be 90, is very short. It matters not so much, I should say. It matters not so much how long you live, but how you live. Please try to make a difference to other people's lives. It will benefit you. I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.